So who contacted you from WWF?
Actually, when we got let go at WCW, Harley Race and Kevin Nash spoke for me up there. So in a couple weeks of getting let go from WCW, the office had called and said, "Yeah, Vince wants you to come up and meet and get to know each other." So it was, man, I was really scared then. But yeah, I flew up a month after I was let go of WCW. A month later, I flew up, went to the towers there, and went up to Vince's office, and then we went in the little kayfabe office, and him, and JJ Dillon talked for like 3 hours and come up with my gimmick that day, Henry Godwinn.
What was your initial impression of Vince?
What's that?
What was your initial impression of Vince?
Comforting. I mean, there was no pressure. Yeah, him and JJ were both a delight to sit there and talk to for almost 3 hours. Vince has always been good to me, and I've always been good to them. It's a respect thing, and I've always respect. George South told me, just go and be humble and listen and respect, and you'll get it back. And I feel I have over the 31 years. I've always been nice. I treat people the way I want to be treated.
Shot those initial vignettes with you. Who from the office produced those?
Shane McMahon flew down to Knoxville. We were living in Pigeon Forge, and I'd found this old farmer who raised hogs. Excuse me. And I went over and asked him, told him who I was and what we were doing, that people from the WWF were going to come down, and we wanted to use his farm for 6-8 hours. And they paid him $300, and he sat there and watched, and you thought he had won the lottery, man. It was Shane. Shane was doing the vignettes then, and that was in '94.
Right.
Yeah, vignettes we did back then where Shane was running that show.
So they brought you in as a heel, and then they switched you to face. What was the reason behind that?
Well, I don't know, because I guess just a ton of way, and and then of course I had the hog pen match and Hillbilly Jim come in, so that's what they were working up to. That's why they turned me, and they wanted me. Me and Hunter, hell, we were married for like 6 months. He got slopped every night, and was just talking on a podcast a while back about getting all those European trips we had. He got slopped every night. And he was a trooper, though. He washed it out and hung it up to dry, get ready for the next one.
How'd you get along with Triple H?
Awesome. Another one, just never no heat between us, and always, we started in WCW together. Us three were down there at the same time, and then but yeah, I've always been pretty tight with Hunter. We got along with everybody.
Yeah. What about the other members of the clique? You hear some horror stories at that time. What was going on? What about the other members, like Shawn Michaels?
Yeah, I got along with everybody. There was never no. People always say, would the clique and the BSK get along? Hell, we'd go out sometimes together. But yeah, we were all good friends. It just, at certain times we paired off, and we just, that's just the way it was. But yeah, we always had respect and kindness for each other.
Who were your allies in the locker room?
The whole BSK.
So is that the Undertaker, Savio?
Undertaker, Yoko, Rikishi, Savio, me, Phineas, Paul Bear, Mr. Fuji sometimes.
What a nice guy Paul Bearer was. Very nice.
I love Paul so much. What a great guy. I don't know if you've seen the table for three we did with Taker.
No, I didn't.
It's on. It was on. We did it at last year's in Dallas. We did a table for three, and it was. You need to check it out. It's on Peacock or WWE Network, and we talked a lot about Paul and Yoko, and really a good time. You'd enjoy that. It's only like 40 minutes, but it about 2 hours, but they just played 40 minutes. So you have to check it out.
What can you tell me about The Undertaker?
Oh, a lot of history there. A lot of stuff I can't talk about, but a lot of stuff I can. Just, always been there. Straight up guy. Just quiet, but very knowledgeable. Comes up with some great ideas. Just always been a good friend, and Yoko was the same way. Yoko, just big kids. We were all big kids. And that's why we all got along so good. Times have changed though. The boys now don't get to experience what we did back then. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we always had a good time together. I'd do it all over again, broken neck and all.